And welcome once again to Beyond Gardens Live, Australia's only live gardening talkback television program. As usual, the panel in the studio is awaiting your contact. Today, once again, it's my pleasure to be joined by John McWilliams and Gary Heddy, and my name's John Colwell, and you can get in touch with us very easily indeed. We'll tell you how in a moment, but first, can I point out that we are only able to do this program because it is sponsored by some people we've had long and strong associations with. Our major sponsors are the Water Corporation, the City of Stirling, the City of Swan, and the City of Mandurah, whom we'll hear from fairly shortly. Let me just give you the phone numbers and the details by which you can get in touch with us now. Well, I won't give them to you. John's very good at remembering numbers.
Okay, so phone us 6468 5994. And the email is tv@beyondgardens.com.au.
So that's how you get in touch with us direct and get an answer, we hope, direct as well. But if we can't answer it this week, we'll do our level best to catch up with you next week. Phones, emails. If you're going to call in live, please remember to turn the sound down on your television. And if you're going to send emails, please attach some pictures because that's what television is all about. I mentioned the City of Mandurah. Gary, you've just been there.
Yeah. And this week we went and had a visit of the Mandurah Sustainable Home, one of the first sustainable homes in WA, and we took some footage. We're at Meadow Springs to check out the sustainable home. One of the many features of the Mandurah Sustainable Home is a water-wise garden, and in this case, a verge garden. I just love the way they use recycled grass trees. They've included signs to help you understand the garden. As you can see, recent rains have filled up the rainwater tank, all ready to go into the laundry and the toilet to supplement the water. Bargain. Just spotted a native plant, actually an Eastern States native, the lily pilly, and they're very nice to eat.
Well, hello.
Hello, Patty.
Great to see you. Welcome to the Mandurah Sustainable Home.
Thank you. Come in this way. We're here at the Sustainable Home in Mandurah, and we've got a very special guest, a long-time friend, Patty Creevy. Howard?
Great to be with you. Thanks very much for the opportunity.
Patty, we've in this Sustainable Home, and this is one of the very first sustainable homes that were developed. And I remember going back 10 years and you guys were trying to get everything together. It was a big undertaking in those days because it was very new. And this was a time when Meadow Springs had only just started, wasn't it?
That's right. Look, firstly, thank you for your long-term commitment and your contribution. And it's wonderful to be celebrating the 8th birthday with you. But you're right, the Meadow Springs we're in today, which has really achieved such an amazing build-out, was not the environment this home started in. And when this concept came together with very creative people like yourselves and others, we really, at that stage, were breaking very new ground, both in the partnerships that it brought together, but particularly the star rating that it achieved at that time. And it was, I think, if not the first, one of the very first, but certainly I think the first of a very livable home in the community. And I think that's been one of its great attractions.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have happened without the City of Mandurah and their pioneering spirit. Because I remember a time when this sort of thing was very, very out of the ordinary. Yes,
it was a bit out there for us at the time, and of course now it's just part of how we do business. But I think we've always had fantastic staff, we've always had great volunteers, and we've always had this great capacity of other people who share the vision to come along and work with us. We'd have never have done it on our own, but as you can see around you, so many people have made a difference to this, and we hope that those partnerships will continue in the future.
Well, thank you very much, Patty.
Oh, great to catch up, and thank you for all your efforts, and look forward to hearing more about your great show.
Thank you.
And there we are, the city of Mandurah. Actually, there's a little bit more to that story yet, is there not, Gary?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, an 8-year-old garden has had a lot of people through and it's getting a little bit tired. So we're actually going to go in a bit later on, next week or so, and get in there and start putting in some native plants and revamping the verge. But this time we're going to upgrade it a little bit by introducing some bush food into the verge, which is a whole new ball game in the region.
And I guess we'll hear more about that on this program.
Yeah,
right
we'll
here.
probably film it, let's face it.
We'll do our level best. Don't forget you can get in touch with us either directly by phone or via email. And if you're going to use the email facility, which is a great idea, don't forget to include some pictures. We do our level best to answer the questions that we can on the spot, but sometimes it's not quite that easy. So let's just rewind instantly in our minds for a week and go back to an email from last week.
Yes, we had an email from Julie in the Bibra Lake area. She lives between the freeway and the coast. She was asking for suggestions for some small trees or shrubs that would be suitable for screening.
So what we've done is we've put together a list of plants. Now these are all water-wise shrubs that grow 2 to 4 metres high, 2 to 4 metres wide. They grow in sand on alkaline soil close to the coast and they tolerate full sun. So that's, you think, might restrict the choice a bit, but in fact there's quite a lot. So let's get underway with our plants for a purpose. This is a feature we'd like to introduce on a regular basis. And the first one we've got for you is one called the native hibiscus, Aleogine huglei. Very attractive plant, budding up at the moment. Will take just about anything, fast growing.
And terrific if you're somewhere like the beach like me, it grows really, really well.
So that's a great one to start with, but let's move on because we've got 10 plants to go through. And the next one is called Banksia ashbyi. One of the Banksias that does very, very well in coastal conditions. Not all of them do, but ashbyi does. It's very bird attractant, obviously, but it's also good, it's hardy, and it's a great screening plant all round.
Actually, I've got something to boast about that because I've got that on my verge and I've got a pair of Carnaby's cockadoos pops in from time to time and has a meal.
And eats the whole lot.
And it's a whole lot,
Fixes and pieces.
But it's nice
That's
to see
another
such a
story.
beautiful bird.
Yes, okay. The next one is very well known. This is the one-sided bottlebrush, Calithamnus quadrifatus, with a few different names. And also a few different flower colours, because there we're looking at the yellow one, but you can just see the inset in the bottom right is the more conventional red colour. But talk about a tough and adaptable plant.
Yeah, really tough plant, really tough plant. They love the limestony soils.
And prunable. You can make a hedge out of it. So if we're talking about screening plants, make a hedge out of it. Very, very amenable plant indeed. And there is even a prostrate form, which is rather
you've got
attractive.
to have a bit of a look around because some of the nurseries group the whole lot in one bunch in the nursery. So have a bit of a look around. You can certainly spot it in the pot.
Here, those first three were all natives. This is an exotic Duranta. Duranta erecta. We used to call it Duranta repens, which means quite the opposite. Sorry, it's probably an in-joke. Repens means flat, erecta means upright. They changed the name from flat to upright because upright is how it actually grows. It's a shrub, it's tough as, it's an old favourite. Couple of names, pigeonberry or golden dewdrop, not from the flowers, which are quite attractive, but from the fruits. Again, in the bottom corner of the picture there, you can see the golden fruits that hang down for much of the year.
Yes, yeah.
Some would suggest it's almost a weed.
Yeah, they can go weedy, certainly. But again, a very tough plant. In fact, most of these are, well, as you've just said, they're on a par. And the Duranta is certainly sold as a lot of cultivated names and the like.
Yeah, a few different cultivars of it. You just had a glimpse, we'll go back to it there, of the fuchsia mallee or the fuchsia gum. One of the small eucalypts, and we have a lot of very attractive small eucalypts that we can play with. This is but one of them. And it has, again, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see a close-up of the, well, flowers and buds, really, you're looking at there. Bright red, looking very attractive indeed. Lovely small tree. But there's more, as they say. We'll quickly run through these and then we'll get to the phone. This is a very well-known grevillea, Olivaceae. I haven't got a common name for it because I'm not sure there is one. Everybody knows Olivaceae. Flower colours, red, normal, yellow, and tangerine.
Yeah, tangerine colour, which is sold as apricot glow.
Yeah,
and a lot of people just say, oh, it's Grevillea apricot glow.
Really great bird plant. Great bird plant. You can see how good it is at screening, but it's also a great plant. And once established, very prunable. I have one that would be 30 years old with a trunk that approaching tree proportions.
I'd agree. My parents,
no stopping it.
My parents have one in the same sort of soil types as Julie.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
Here's one that, all right, personal favourite I had to choose. And this is the Esperance tea tree. It is a leptospermum. It's very, very tough. Silver tea tree, it's often called because of the silvery foliage, which is very attractive in its own right. But large tea tree flowers, only singles, tough as, very prunable, well worth growing, as are all of these. And I thought I'd put this one in for a little bit of difference. This is Melaleuca nisophila, is one of our local natives. It has a few different forms, and you'll see things like Little Nessie and Narrow Nessie and the full-grown one. This is actually a form called Little Nessie, and you might wonder what's so little about it when you see that. But again, they're about 20 years old, and what I've actually done there is taken off all the lower branches so we're revealing the attractive stems. I think it's rather nice.
Yeah,
okay, and just a couple more to go. This is an old bulletproof favourite. This is one of those plants, Metrosideros, that's been around for a long time. One of this group is also sold as Pahutakawa. I hope I've got that right, Kiwis. Which I'm told means, when translated from the Maori, tree that grows with its roots in the sea, which gives you a fair indication of how tough this plant is, and good looking too. And we've got quite a few cultivars of that. And lastly, a plant that's actually deceptive. It is actually an Australian native. It actually grows up in the north. It's a wonderful plant. It's very tough, very prunable. That's a hedge you can see of it. So if we're talking about screening, tall hedge of this is really good. Flowers when it feels like it over summer. It doesn't have a regular flowering period. It'll say, oh, I feel like flowering. Big boost of flowers right across the plant, and then nothing for another couple of months maybe. But the flowers are wonderful because they're so highly fragrant, so highly fragrant. I hope that's inspiration enough for you. That has been Plants for a Purpose this week. If you've got a particular problem and you want a little list of plants for that purpose, let us know. Email address, as usual.
Yes, tv@beyondgardens.com.au, and please attach a photo. They certainly do help.
Okay.
We have a caller on the line.
Well, let's say hello. Hello to our caller.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, hi. Look, I'm wondering, with the change in weather and now being so cold these days, looking for a plant that I want a flower specifically that's going to go quite well in the colder weather. I'm thinking of Hardenbergia.
Well, I like the fact that he mentioned Hardenbergia because it gives me an excuse to show you some pictures of Hardenbergia. It's because it really is a phenomenally fast-growing plant and tough as, and
absolutely.
Again, right on the coast. A climate that's unstoppable. Really.
I was also going to say it would certainly make some good screening if you've got a fence. Some of the more open style fences, or if you've got a colour bond fence, which can be quite bland these days, and you want to colour it up and certainly cover it, Hardenbergia is the way to go.
I've got it near my swimming pool. So,
yes,
So it looks really nice on the north side.
So it's one of those very fast-growing vines that, yes, you have to prune every now and again, but in flower, and it's budding now. So it won't be very far off at all, actually. It's budding now. And we have the local form, which is Hardenbergia comptoniana. And we also have an Eastern States Hardenbergia, which is monophylla. And we have a few different selections of each. I prefer the local. Let's be biased. This is a local gardening program.
And the cultivars, as you said, the white flowers, pink flowers. I haven't seen any more. I don't know whether there's any more on the horizon.
Well, that's enough to go with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I've got an email, and we've got someone who's a big fan of ours at the moment.
Oh, good.
Yep. Oh, we like
fans.
We like those people. Why?
Because Darren from Perth has been struggling with his capsicum and getting eaten alive by bugs. Virtually everything in his garden, the chilies, the tomatoes, the works, we're having problems with bugs basically getting in at an early stage and never got any. And because we don't get around to answering all the questions, every now and then we'll hop on the emails and try to give the answer as quick as we can to save you a whole heap of grief. And on the planet, talking to every garden centre in Perth, my local WTV gardening program answers it. and we got a gold star for that.
There's nothing like a bit of praise.
He will go a long way.
He'll get a long way down.
Yes.
Possibly we can answer your problem as well. 64685 actually, remember the number, that's amazing. And somebody has called it. Hello, welcome to Beyond Gardens Live.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'd just like to ask if you could advise me on how to germinate my native kangaroo paw seeds.
Ah, kangaroo paw seeds. I'm assuming it's the normal kangaroo paw, is that right? The red and green?
Yeah, green and red.
Yes. Yep. Are they straight seeds, or did you get one of those little free samples, what they call seed sticks, that look like a box of matches? Do you know the ones I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean, but no, they're not. I've been harvesting them from my own garden for a couple of years.
Good, good. There's no pre-treatment necessary for kangaroo paw. You can just sow the seeds as is. The big question is whether or not the seeds are viable. The standard kangaroo paw, the state's floral emblem, Anaxanthus manglesii, the seeds of that, the germination rate, I would suggest, is around about 5 to 10%. So it's not as though they're going to come up like hairs on a dog's back, but you are going to get a few. And the standard rule for sowing seeds applies for those as for others, and that is to sow the seed and cover it with once to twice the thickness of the seed. So if the seed's 2 millimetres thick, you would cover it to 2 to 4 millimetres of soil.
Yep.
Stand back and
work.
work.
Yeah. Yep. Kangaroo paw seeds are pretty small. So.
One of our keen followers in Darwin, Rosemary, got hold of. Remember, they used to give away. The Water Corporation used to give away seed sticks, these boxes like that, little match things. And she put a whole lot in a pot and showed me, and they were all up.
Fantastic.
It was really good.
Yep.
So good luck with that. And don't forget, it's going to take a little while for the plants to get to maturity and flower, but it's worth the wait.
Yep, absolutely. We have another caller on the line before we go to the next topic. Are you on?
We hope so.
There?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, there's that awful delay. Just a reminder, just in case it's affecting you. Please turn the sound.
Okay, I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute my TV now. I'm going to mute my TV now.
Okay, we're going to nuke it or mute it. One or the other. Yes, if you're going to call us, you're most welcome. But please, you do have to turn the sound down on your television. Otherwise, you'll get caught in one of those nasty technical things, which makes it very difficult to think and speak at the same time.
It's muted.
Are you muted?
Yes, I am muted.
Oh,
fantastic.
Good. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We await your query.
Okay, my query is I have got I've got a spot that is in summer full sun and in winter full shade. And I want to know what ground cover to put and can I buy it by seed?
Okay. So is this down the side of the house?
Yes, sounds like a spot in the garden, full sun in summer.
Yes, down the side of the house, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those challenging positions. Perhaps we should state to start with, a lot of people think the plants won't grow unless they get full sun. Plants, certainly most plants are adapted to a fairly sunny position, but many can grow in shade, and all they need is ambient light rather than direct sunlight. So plants that only get full sun for part of the day or part of the year can still survive the rest of the year.
Okay, I'm going to chop you off at the knees.
Okay.
Because I've already got written down from the ABC Gardening Australia.
Yes.
Dichondria.
Yes.
And then there was 2 others, but they're Latin names and I can't bloody remember.
Okay. Well, Dichondria is a Latin name, so you did fairly well with that. Dichondria is a fairly well-known ground cover. It may or may not be a native, and I say that because we're not too sure.
All right.
So
rewind.
Rewind.
Rewind. Will I get Dichondria seeds from Bunnings, or will I try to get?
Dichondria is available as runners normally. It used to be quite freely available as seed, but I haven't seen it as seed for a long time. but you now get it as runners. For those people not familiar what we're talking about, I'll just throw up a picture or two of dichondra as we talk about it. There it is growing in cracks in paving, and that, in fact, is in a shady position. When you've just got dichondra on its own as a lawn substitute, here it is on a broader scale.
Yes, that's right.
It's quite an attractive plant, and there is a silver leaf form of it as well, and it will tolerate the conditions, but I think you'll probably have to go to a nursery and buy a small pot of it. And then with a sharp knife, divide the pot up into as small as you care to go and spread it out. It's fairly quick covering. It is fairly quick. In fact, it's the worst weed I've got in my vegetable patch.
I was going to say.
It's good.
You must know somebody out there who's got some already, because once it starts, it never goes away.
Yes. So dichondra would be one suggestion.
Okay, rewind. Can I get a packet of seeds of dichondra?
Not as far as I know. Now, one of our viewers might correct me on this.
Hook up with somebody who's got runners, and they will give me some.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, look, once you've got it, you get very generous at giving it away. Yeah.
You know, thought about your show today, and I absolutely love you guys. I love you.
You can rewind as much as you like. I just thought I'd mention one of the other plants they might have given you, which is Lipia, known as Phyla nodiflora.
Wait, rewind, so let me write that down with a pen.
Well, that might be on your list anyway, I suspect. Phyla nodiflora.
Say it again.
Phyla, Phyla, nodiflora. Also known as Lipia, and sometimes erroneously as Lipia grass.
How do you spell Lipia?
Lippia. So there's a picture of it. I'll give you a better picture. Hang on. That's a better picture of what we're looking at.
Okay. And then if I've got you on the TV now, and then tomorrow I can go and get on the computer.
Go and look it up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your call. Thanks for joining us on Beyond Gardens Live. Yep. We're going to stretch our wings a little bit now. We're going to go a bit further than we normally do, but there is a very good reason for doing that, and that is some news that's just come to hand. But let's introduce the topic first of all by saying we're going to talk about the show, and I mean the show on a world basis, that is on right now in London. And it is the Chelsea Flower Show. And it's all on the grounds of the Chelsea Hospital. It's squeezed into this tiny spot in the grounds of the Chelsea Hospital in central London. That's the River Thames, you can see on the bottom of the picture. And you'd be amazed what they could squeeze into that small spot for 4 or 5 days. This is the inside of one of the big pavilions that you find there. And then there are the display gardens. This is what everybody goes to see and queues up to see, these amazing gardens that are built on small spots just for 5 days. So look at that, a whole thatch cottage. Well, actually, that's not true. It's half a thatch cottage. If you went to the back, you'd find the other half is missing. But this is all built just for 4 days, and the trouble they go to is absolutely incredible. And you have to jostle, elbow your way in amongst the strictly limited crowds to get a view of these things. This is another one of the display gardens that has been there in past years. And here, yet another, again, all this created for that relatively short time. And what they're after is this, which is the gold medal. Well, sorry, that's not, I better watch my grammar. It's not the gold medal, it is a gold medal. A team of judges comes along and they look, oh, you'd hate to be under their scrutiny, honestly. There are about 10 of them, I believe, and each of the judges is judging a different aspect. And they tot up the points, and if you achieve a certain point level, you get a gold medal. So there can be several gold medals at the show, there can be none, which has happened in past times. Or you might feel you're hard done by and get a silver gilt or a silver or a bronze medal. Anyway, to get a medal at Chelsea is bee's knees in gardening terms. You don't get any better than that. And along with all those wonderful display gardens, there's also this incredible display of fruits, flowers, all put on in stunning arrangements. The mind is just boggling. Okay, so that's an introduction to Chelsea Flower Show. Why are we talking about it? Well, A, because it's on, but B, because for the first time, an Australian garden has won not just a gold medal, that's happened before, but this time they've won the best garden in show, which is the ultimate prize if you're at Chelsea. And it's been won by the Trailfinders Garden in conjunction with Wes Fleming. More on that a little bit later. But we thought you'd like to see how they built this garden that took out the top gong. And the man behind putting Australia on the map, on the World Horticultural Map, is Wes Fleming of Fleming's Trees. He's actually coming to Perth next week, and I am hoping, fingers crossed, to be able to have a chat with him, and we'll bring, if that happens, we'll bring that to you on this program next week. Now, again, a little bit of catch-up and a little bit of email, Gary.
Yeah, last week we talked about a little bit being good, but too much is not that flash. And we got an email from Lance from Claremont, and he was wondering, well, how do you work out what's the right amount? And it's pretty clear that Lance has been to one of our workshops because he used our bottle trick or jar trick, and we've got a first image of his veggie garden.
We better explain the jar trick. Well, that image comes up and what's happened. What we suggest is you take some of the soil and you put it into a jar, and then you add an equal quantity of water, give it a good shake, put it aside, let it settle down. And specific gravity, is that? Yes, specific gravity, isn't it? The really heavy stuff will drop to the bottom very quickly, and then the rest will drop in different stages. So this is a result of that.
I'm not sure
Gary,
it's coming through.
It's not coming through.
Yes.
Gary, have you pressed the button?
Yep.
Press the button. All right, we
Looks
have
like we've got
a
a
minor
issue.
technical problem. We'll fix it up during the break, and we'll bring you those pictures.
This live TV, yes.
It is. Meanwhile, do we have any other emails? Well, I know we have emails. So do we have emails I should take note of right now, John?
Let's have a quick look here.
Quick look there, please.
The Weigelia tree?
You're watching Beyond Gardens Live. And it is live because we're struggling. Oh, Weigelia. We want to talk about Weigelia.
Sorry,
okay. Give me long enough. Okay, what's the query?
This is from Kathy and Michael. They planted a Weigelia tree 15 years ago. It's reached a height of about 10 metres in Iluka sands, and they water their gardens from a bore.
An interesting one, this one, because I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'd be very surprised if you had a Weigelia, if it might be something else. So let me show you these pictures of what a Weigelia looks like. The flowers, a couple of flowers, look, and I'll just bang through some pictures fairly quickly. Here we are. Lovely, delicate-looking plant. And indeed, it is a delicate plant, and it's one that's not desperately happy here. We have had one or two at Araloon. Iluka, I would have thought it was difficult, and to my knowledge, I don't think they get to 10 metres high. So let's go back to our email.
Yeah, they noticed a few branches on the north side were dying in about November last year. About a quarter of the canopy on that side has now died. They can't find any evidence of insect infestation, and they don't use any toxic chemicals.
I think...
Yeah, I've actually emailed her and asked for some more images.
Yeah, supplementary information.
If we don't get these sort of pictures, it's very, very difficult for us to try to diagnose the issue.
In the meantime, does it look like that?
If it does look like that, would be... Yeah.
Then we may be dealing with something else. We would love to help, but we're just not sure we're talking about the same thing.
Yep.
You can always try that.
Okay, so hopefully a bit of homework for us there.
And don't forget, emails with pictures, because this is television. Pictures are really what it's all about.
Exactly. I'm just trying to find an email.
You're looking for more emails?
I am looking for more emails.
We've got lots of emails. You can send them to us. It's very easy. TV at...
Yep, sorry.
Well, I was going to give the email.
Actually,
but you can interrupt me anytime. Yes.
I was actually going to say that we got an email from Neil Herring, and Steph, you better be watching because apparently you're going to be watching for the first time. So beware, we might be coming to see you.
Okay.
Called harvesting viewers one at a time. Okay.
We will iron out some of the technical bugs, and it's time for a break.